completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month. Full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
Hi, this is Dan Jurgens, and you are listening to the Capes and Lunatics podcast.
Look, up in the sky, it's a bird. It's a plane. No, it's a flying electric mullet. Welcome back, kids, to another week of Electric Mullet, the Superman podcast. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, Superman's number one fan. It is
Tyler and Sayla with the representing Superman also. Just, Red Sun.
Oh, he muted it. I want to hear that conversation. Probably like, Dad, you watch Superman and Lois. They do this wicked right. It was wicked ass. All right. So tonight we are going to cover Superman 35, Adventures of Superman 458, Starman number 14, guest starring Superman, and Action Comics 645, the first appearance of Maxima.
I thought that was I could remember where I've been bouncing around in comics and stuff. I was like, is this the first appearance of Maxima, or have we had Maxima before? Because I remember Justin talking about loving Maxima. Yep. So I was like, I could not remember. But yeah, it was.
But I was just waiting for. I was wondering why Sam came down. I just we're down here recording, and meanwhile it's this season premiere of the last season of Superman and Lois. I'm just waiting for you to go. Oh, as the kids are upstairs going. Oh, look at that! Oh.
No, they know better than that. They know. Be like, no, like that's the thing is like we were talking about this before, Mike. Like most of my people that I've talked to who are big Superman fans or Superman podcasters, friends and stuff, all of them are watching it tomorrow either because of just the app or purchasing. Like I mean I used to have a digital antenna to get the CW and watch stuff just because that was the only shows I ever wanted to watch live, but the signal is so bad here. And there's no point in having cable. Anything.
like I said, even with cable, it's just like I said, CW. I mean, they don't make it easy. They switched it from one of my local stations to another local station. At first, I wasn't sure if I was going to have it or not, but yeah.
But it's like when this show's done, I'm done with the CW. I'm technically done as it is, but you know what I mean.
I was going to say I don't know if they even have a ton of new stuff, but
they don't. So, but we're here to talk some old Superman.
That's right. All right. So yes, 4 issues, like I said, including a guest appearance in Starman. So, all right. Here we'll jump in. I have synopses for everything but the Starman, but none of them are that long. So, all right. Okay. All right. Now this one is another weird one. The first one, Superman 35. All right, Superman 35, September 1989, Visions of Grandeur. Writer Jerry Ordway, penciler Kurt Swan, inker Dennis Jank, colors Glenn Whitmore, letterer John Costanza, and editor Mike Carlin and Jonathan Peterson. Luthor's scientists keep Brainiac in a comatose dreaming state so they can analyze his psionic powers. After an overdose of hallucinogenic drugs, Brainiac's mind breaks free from its human shell, but the body loses all vital signs. The doctors try to resurrect him, but is Brainiac himself in his astral form that restores his body's biorhythms. Free from the induced hallucinations, Brainiac escapes in his astral form to continue his schemes before more hallucinogenic drugs are administered to him. Okay, and then taking place at the same time, because each page is split into 2 stories here. So the other one is The Racer's Edge. After his heart attack, Morgan Edge is prepped for surgery. Morgan's consciousness is transferred to a place of neither life nor death, where he sees the Black Racer, Metron, and Darkseid, impersonated by Desaad. Meanwhile, an inner gang killer is posing as a medic to kill Morgan. Right before injecting the lethal drug, the Black Racer appears in front of the killer and takes his life, saving Morgan. All right, so what you think, Tyler?
I liked this one the most just because of the style, where we have two stories. And the one thing I'm trying to get my app to open to this book instead of where I was reading, but the one thing I wish on the app, instead of doing each panel, is I wish it would have clustered like the two panels, because of the way that it was written. Because I found it just because you're doing two.
So it's kind of jumping and yeah,
because you're doing stories that are paralleling each other. So like I was kind of reading it at one point up down instead of straight, and then sometimes I would read it straight just to see how it would correlate. Here we go, because now I can show people what I'm talking about. Kind of, it's too bright, but
yeah, a lot of times I don't do the guided. I'll just like bring up a whole page, and if I have to, I can zoom in. But yeah, I usually don't do the guided thing.
It's like, because like this page right here, you can't see it, but technically it's like the one that the first page that has the 6 group panels where they're like parallel. Like it would have been interesting to be able to read those together, but I found it fascinating because we have the Milton Fine Brainiac here, and he's with the Skull Ship, and then you have Lex and Darkseid.
I love the Skull Ship as Lex. Kind of like him.
And then I think what was interesting is, so are we, to make sure I'm up to speed here with everything that they were trying to sell us, Morgan Edge has never interacted with Darkseid. It's been Desaad the entire time.
I believe so. That's kind of what they hinted at that in Action 643. So yeah, which is so weird because I was like, wait a minute. So he's having this like near death hallucination, but I'm like, but all the it's revealed to him that Desaad was impersonating Darkseid. I'm like, I never thought he discovered that. So how is that?
Yeah,
unless it's just coming into contact with the Black Racer or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Mm-hmm. And again, we just did Exile, but again, another whole issue, except for appearing in a dream sequence. Superman's not in this book.
Nope, and that's okay. Like I know I'm saying that as a Superman fan, but it's okay, to.
I mean, I guess if you had he has 3 books a month again at this point, so it's like.
But my thing is, like, sometimes if you're doing good stories with the characters that are part of his life, so to speak, I'm okay with not having him in the book because you're doing something. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, we're getting a lot of character development with like Brainiac here and Morgan Edge. And we kind of get like an origin for Morgan Edge where we kind of see where his father I guess it's say accidentally kills his mother.
Can we just say accidentally what? Because that's
he does kind of like give her a slap and a push and push her in the street, but I don't know if he meant for the bus to hit her, but
man, I don't know. I was reading that like, holy crap, when all of a sudden it's like whoomp.
I know.
I mean that is heavy. So I was like not sure how to take that, but because then like we see with Morgan Edge, like the one where he's yelling at him, why do I bother teaching you manners or anything? And we see Morgan Edge with a lady, and then there's his mammy, trying to take care of him. So
Yeah.
It was I don't know, that was and then of course we got Morgan Edge striking back.
Oh yeah, once he grows up, yeah, he has his father like retired from the company, shall we say?
Yeah, and then he makes his we see Morgan Edge kind of make his vow of hatred
Mm-hmm.
to the heavens / dark side.
Almost like his Bruce Wayne vow. He's like, "I and I shall become an asshole."
I know it's pretty intense. So yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see the return of Vincent Edge, but I think it's on the other side of Death of Superman, so it'll be a little bit. And then Dr. Kelly and Happerson just trying to keep Brainiac sedated. They're like, "Oh, we don't want to make Lex too mad." Although I don't know if it's just like the forced, Brainiac's been unconscious for so long. I mean, he's been out of it pretty much since before Superman left Earth. So, I mean, I don't know if this is just, we saw real Doc side of him coming out, but I don't know if this is just like accelerating it. Just where it's like, yeah, you're just giving me time to hibernate and basically, just more time to take over this human form.
Pretty much. So, this is my least favorite. What do you call it? Brainiac. It's just, I don't know. It's so weird.
Yeah, I mean, by the time we get to Panic into the Sky, he's starting to get like more. We're starting to get more classic Brainiac almost, but
it's still interesting.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, not a bad issue considering it's like following two people. Meanwhile, they're basically just hallucinating or dreaming.
But I like it. Again, it kind of gives you more about the individuals that are part of Superman's world.
Mm-hmm.
So,
in the right side of this cover, the cover of this is an homage to Superman 167 from 1964, where basically Lex and Brainiac have a tiny Superman in a cage, just like that. So,
but I liked this one, and we have, and like you said, the Black Racer. That was the one part I will have to say I didn't really like.
I'm not a big New Gods guy. Again, it's I don't know. Maybe it's just the whole Kirby thing. I'm not a big New Gods fan. I'm not a big Eternals fan. I'm just I don't know.
I will say I'm not like the New Gods are interesting, but they can get played out.
Mm-hmm.
But just the whole design and structure of the Black Racer in this, I didn't like. Like it felt weird. Like he's not a racer, he's a skier. Okay. Like that's the thing. He's like the black skier. So
yeah, that's weird. It's like you're like a cosmic entity, but it's like you still need the poles to go skiing. Like you.
Yeah, like this racer is just kind of weird to me. So.
Mm-hmm.
But
he almost looks like a medieval knight on skis. Yeah.
Exactly.
Again, it's that whole Kirby thing. I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, the whole Kirby thing. I agree. Like, it is what it is, but it's weird.
Yeah, he needs that look needed updated. And I guess we will see Brainiac again, starting in Action Comics 647. Big 3-part Brainiac story.
Good job, Brainiac. But yeah, this was my favorite one just because.
Oh, this was your favorite. Okay.
Just because of the structural style of the two paralleling stories. I always think that's interesting when you can pull that off correctly.
Yeah. All right. Should we get to the next one?
Yep.
All right. All right. Adventures of Superman 458 from September 1989. I Sing the Body Elastic. Writers Dan Jurgens and George Perez. Penciler Dan Jurgens. Inker Claus Jansen. Colors Glenn Whitmore. Letterer Albert de Guzman. And editors Mike Carlin and Jonathan Peterson. While doing an aerobics workout, Jimmy Olsen's body becomes elastic and goes out of control. Superman manages to contain him and takes Jimmy to Emil Hamilton's lab. There, the doctor discovers Jimmy contracted the virus the day Superman returned to Earth.
Mm.
All right. So, all right, what you think?
This one was just what, like the virus, like it makes Jimmy stretchy. Like, I mean, it starts off and like I clicked on this one, okay, and I saw the cover, and then I clicked on it, and then I was talking to the kids, and I came back to it, and I totally forgot what the cover was. So once again, I'm like, all right, Jimmy is hitting on Cat, talking to Adam. He's all like stretching. They're all doing this aerobics, and Clark's doing it all awkward and trying to make excuses about being a in shape farm boy.
It reminded me of Superman 4. It's just like, oh,
yes. Yep. And then all of a sudden, help me. And he's like, his body turns elastic. And I'm just kind of like, this is the virus, is like, it makes Jimmy into elongated man.
I'm trying to remember the story. I'm trying to remember if it was the Eradicator. I can't remember if it was the Eradicator or not. Because remember, he had the Eradicator in his cape pouch. So I can't remember if it was actually the Eradicator or an actual space virus. But no, he's stretching and it's not comfortable. It's hurting him. So
yeah. So I don't know. I didn't like it. Okay, I have to be honest. It was okay, but I was like, they couldn't have come up with something better.
I think it was an homage that he had stretchy powers in the Silver Age somewhere. So I think it was an homage to that. So I don't know. I almost feel like they should have just had him like transform into a creature, almost like a werewolf transformation or something, something.
Something like I would have been fine with that. Like him actually turn into something and been like, he actually had a virus,
Mm-hmm. I mean, give him a virus, or something. But yeah, have him like transform into a creature or something.
Yeah, but like just turning it, like I said, stretchy powers. I'm like, he just turns into a elongated man. Like that's really what it felt like. And there was at times I'm watching this, or not watching, I'm reading this, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I have to keep telling myself it's Jimmy Olsen because he looks like elongated man.
Yeah, because he's in the purple and stuff, and yeah. And just I think they kind of the same color hair, yeah. So yeah, because most of this after he transforms is just Superman's like, I have to stop Jimmy because he's accidentally just like causing all this damage, but he's like I don't want to hurt him or anything.
Yeah, exactly.
How about when he knocks down that Booster Gold billboard by accident, and Superman's like, that's all right. I never really cared for this guy anyway.
Yeah, I mean that makes complete sense, So
yeah, Superman wraps him up in his cape and then takes him to Hamilton's lab because like they would have that scene with Lois where it's like, yeah, no one's allowed to come see Jimmy because they're like, oh, it could be contagious.
And I mean, he have no idea what it is. Then all of a sudden they're like, oh, it's Jimmy Olsen is turning into he got a virus from when Superman returned from
well, yeah, because Hamilton tracked it down to like 8 days before, and he's like, oh, that's the day Superman came back from space.
So what about that page 10 scan?
That what?
Go.
Yeah. No, they did a bad job scanning it in, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, that looks like one of those bootlegs. I was like,
yeah, it does.
I'm like page 9, and then I'm like, oh, Then back to 11. I'm like, okay. But yeah, I just didn't like this one. You know, like the
Yeah.
whole Jimmy stretch, but they could have come up with something better than stretching. And I mean, I guess if you're gonna honor the Silver Age, do the turtle.
Oh yeah.
That would just, you know, because then, like I said, with the red hair and everything, if I had missed the beginning of this and was just looking at it, I would think that's Ralph Dibny. Like I would never have been like, oh, poor Jimmy Olsen.
And that's so weird too, because they're just like, you know, it's like, oh, well, what's the cause? What's the cause? And it seems like Hamilton can't find a cause until they get like, Ralph Dibny's like medical records, and all of a sudden Hamilton's like, oh yeah, there's like a genetic virus, and it's like, oh, you couldn't have figured that out without the records, okay?
It's because he says something about the way Ralph Dibny takes something to help his cell so it's not painful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that gingle, yeah.
And I'm like, okay.
And the whole thing with this, I think, even gets brought up later. It's like Jimmy's like, oh, my best friend in the whole universe tried to kill me. Like he intentionally infected you, Jimmy. Okay, yeah, because that's what Superman does. Okay,
he came back and was like, I have a virus on me. Where's Jimmy Olsen?
I know.
Give me
I get it.
Jimmy.
I get it. You're scared, but it's like, yeah, like Superman's trying to kill you. Trust me, if Superman wanted you dead, Jimmy, you'd be dead.
Yeah, Jimmy was not too wise.
Why'd you do that? Yeah, like he meant it. But yeah, again, I mean, I get it. I think I like this one better than you, but yeah, I kind of get it. It's just it's almost a little too goofy.
I think I'd like it better if it wasn't the whole like Jimmy Olsen stretching. If it had been something else, I think I would have been down for it.
Yeah.
So that's just
give him some out of control powers or a transformation, something.
Yeah.
All right. You want to get to the Starman?
If I can get this song out of my head.
Starman. All right. Starman number 14 from September 1989. Look up in the sky. What is this? The Krypton Report?
Yep.
Writer Roger Stern, penciler Tom Lau, inker Bob Smith, colorist Michelle Wolfman, letterer Bob Pinaha, and editors Robert Greenberg and Brian Augustin.
I thought we were in 89.
Yeah.
When we were talking the other day.
Yeah. I have no synopsis for this, but it's basically, Starman asks, through Kitty Faulkner asked Superman to come to Phoenix because he wants to meet him and get some superhero tips from him, and then they end up battling the parasite.
I mean, what's funny is that I accidentally read this one out of order. So like there's the reference. Excuse me, in action where it's like when you fought the parasite, it's like see
Starman 14.
Yeah. And I was like, oh yeah, I should have read that one first. Dang it, Tyler.
That's all right.
I've never been a big Starman person.
So
just throwing that out there.
But we'll see Starman again in Crisis of the Crimson Kryptonite.
Now that is an awesome title.
Yeah, it's unfortunate they put K's in front of all those though.
Yeah. You're like trying to read it.
K. No.
I mean that's how you what do you call it, trademark it.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That's why Mortal Kombat is MK and not MC.
Yep. So Superman arrives safe, and again, it seems like almost he talks to Starman real quick, but then those window washer or the construction guys almost fall because the scaffolding gives out. And then they show them the parasite who had. So I didn't read this issue, so I guess Kitty tried to become Rampage to stop Parasite. He absorbs her power and grew to a giant, and then Starman just overloaded him until he became a, what do they call it? He melted down in the protoplasmic slurry.
Yeah, and I did like this is a very weird look of the Parasite.
Yeah, it's so weird because like they kind of like rebooted him after Crisis. Because again, I think this might be the first time Superman's encountering him after Crisis.
Yeah, it just felt weird because like
Like
he's all green.
yeah. I forget when he turns purple, but he will turn purple eventually here.
And I'm just like, okay. I don't know. It just felt weird to me.
Mhm. Because eventually, yeah, the parasite actually pulls himself together because he lures Superman in and absorbs Superman's power.
Yeah, I
He absorbs half of Superman's power.
it was weird. I don't know. I don't like they changed the it's that error where things just some of it just is like, what is this?
Hmm.
But green like it's the same kind of issue I have with Superman the movie. Yes,
Hmm.
I do have an issue with Superman the movie. People calm down. Um where the crystal that builds the fortress and the knowledge and everything is green.
Like kryptonite.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, there's certain colors that mean certain things.
Way to make it confusing.
Yeah, I'm like, when you're a Superman and you see green, that is not good. Okay. Um,
Yeah, why couldn't it glow like blue or something or white or?
exactly. It's just white light, man. But
Mhm.
yeah, that crystal is very problematic. So that's always been an issue I've had with that. It's like, okay, you took the color that's supposed to mean danger for Superman, and you're like, nah, we're gonna just make it something else. So and that's like with this because Parasite's green. I'm like, that doesn't feel like Parasite.
Yeah, eventually he gets purple, but I do like here, like Starman. You know, he's a new superhero. He wants advice from Superman. They kind of did that over the years, where like a lot of guys when they start, they come to Superman for advice. Like Kyle Rayner when he first started, one of his first things is he went well. Superman came to him because Mongol attacked them, but again, it's kind of nice that all like a lot of the new guys go to Superman.
Of course, they should. I mean,
Oh yeah,
if you want advice, you go to the best, right?
well yeah.
So, but yeah, I it was kind of funny.
Wait, is that real? That picture you just sent me?
Yes, it is. I just got an alert and I was like, this is so funny because this is what we just talked about.
I swear to God, people listen to this podcast and get ideas.
So
Get ideas.
for those who are, it's Funko. I just got an alert. Funko put up. They're releasing the Action Comics that we just
644.
yep
Yeah.
that we just talked about last time. It's one of the where it's with the comic book background and the Funko Pop of Matrix as Superman. Just got the black and purple. So I thought that was too cool.
Oh my god, if I got that, I would have to get a Supergirl Funko too. Just put it next to it, be like, the many faces of Matrix or something.
I mean, you're not wrong, dude.
That's why I've been trying to cut back because I'm just like, I just know, if I get a like one Funko of any group, I'll have to get them all. Like,
Well, it's like I never wanted to get Funkos, but then my friend, because when I was working at Verizon, everybody would get Funkos. That was like the thing.
mhm.
And my friend bought me a Batman from Batman the Animated Series, and then um I got the Superman from Dark Knight Returns, and then it was like, okay, that's when it started. But I haven't went crazy because some of them I'm just like, I'm not paying that much for a Funko, but I would buy that one though.
Oh yeah. So is that brand new then?
Yeah, it's scary to come out.
Huh. That's interesting because again, for a 1989 issue, and it's just again, I always find that interesting. I'm just like, I wonder what spurred that. Capes and Lunatics.
Kids and Lunatics, and they're just like, what else can we make a Funko of that people will buy? Suckers.
Batman, my favorite character.
Sorry, still laid there.
No,
But
no, that's That's what he says, you know.
Hmm. But yeah, I mean, this one again, I'm sure they were trying to boost sales with a Superman appearance here, but no, I found it interesting. Just the whole Superman thing. Yeah, you could tell they're trying to boost sales here because it's like before Superman, they already had a Batman appearance in issue 10.
Oh, Starman. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They just are like, dude, nobody is going to check out Starman.
Yeah,
We
and
gotta-
even issue 5 and 6 were like invasion crossovers because like number 5 has like Firestorm and Power Girl in it, and then issue 6 has Hal Jordan in there.
yeah, they were like, we need to somehow make Starman cool. Just put everyone else in his book.
And again, nothing against Starman. Again, anytime you get a new book in like the late 80s, in the 90s, somebody had to, you had to have your big guys guest star.
Yeah, you have your big guys guest star, or the other thing is you have your new character guest star in the other people's book, and then when it's time for them to have their own book, you've introduced them in a popular book. So,
or you're gonna get both. I forgot about this. Yeah, Crisis of the Crimson Kryptonite. There is a Starman crossover issue 28. So
it's pretty cool though. Like,
he will be in there.
I just like hearing you say that really like fast.
Crisis of the Crimson Kryptonite.
Yes.
All right. Should we get to the last one?
Let's do it.
All right, kids. Here's a piece of history here. All right. So
gotta go back to my app. I wish there's an easy way sometimes when you're in comics to get out of them. And one thing, if you're listening, I hate is when you're reading a title and then like the next book, it doesn't take you to like, if you've read up through the whole title, it'll like randomly pick a spot and then it'll just stay and you dive back in or whatever, instead of just like, it's annoying. I like, if I'm done with it, I want to like leave. Like, I don't want stuff.
And I almost wish if you were like reading like a crossover or even like the Superman books, like if it goes from adventures to action, I wish there was like a little link where you could just like, hey, do you want to go to the action comics or do you want to go to the next issue of adventures?
Yes, I'm like, come on, it's not that difficult. Like what I hate is like I'll be reading, like we've been reading the New 52 stuff, but like we'll read them in the trades. And then like when we're done, it'll like reference like the next, like an issue, an individual issue instead of, and I'm just like, no, we're done. Like,
I know. That's like last night, me and Justin did the Midnight Sun stuff. And it's like, okay, well, all right, now I got to get out of Ghost Rider and go to the Morbius book. And it's just like, it'd just be nice if there was like a one click, it's all, there's 6 issues in this crossover. It'd be nice if you just had links so I could just read the crossover.
All right. Action Comics number
645.
Yeah, I'm getting there. Just being slow. Yeah, this is the book right here. This is the one that I wish Justin was here for.
That's the one he wanted to. Yeah, he couldn't be here tonight, kids. But yeah, this is the one he wanted to be here for.
I almost feel bad reviewing it without him, but I just saying.
All right. So Action 645 from September 1989. My Lady Maxima. All I hear is My Fair Lady.
My Fair Lady. It always makes me think. You've seen Kingsman, right?
Yeah.
Where he's like makes the comment and he's like My Fair Lady. And he's like, yes, like My Fair Lady.
Writers Roger Stern and George Perez. Penciler George Perez, inker Brett Breeding, colors Glenn Whitmore, letterer Bill Oakley, and editors Mike Carlin and Jonathan Peterson. Maxima comes to Earth looking for Superman to take him as her mate. Oh my.
Not even a courtship, man. Just straight up, like, we will mate.
Just wham bam. Thank you, Superman.
I mean, too bad Jimmy would be all about that.
Yeah.
He'd be all about, yes, take me. I am Jimmy or James Cole.
Or the big difference between Jimmy Olsen and James Cole.
Yeah. The only thing they got similar is the J.
Oh, too bad Jimmy Olsen's all stretched out. She finds out that the people of the Daily Planet might know something about Superman's residence. She visits them, but they are not useful to her search either, so she leaves them in some sort of hypnotic trance and disappears from the scene. Clark arrives at the planet and finds his coworkers in that zombie-like state. Clark wakes them up and they tell him about Maxima. Maxima decides to flush Superman out by making a riot at City Hall. Superman arrives at the scene and disables Maxima's soldiers, then confronts her inside the hall. Sazu strikes Superman with a telepathic attack, but she thinks Superman is not worthy to be Maxima's mate because he refuses to kill his opponents. So Sazu betrays Maxima and destroys her simulacrum form, disappearing from Earth. Superman breaks free from the telepathic attack, knocking Sazu unconscious. Maxima reappears in her spaceship, determined to return to Earth and take Superman for herself. And we don't even mention at the beginning of the issue, well, somewhat towards the beginning of the issue, where Starman basically gives Superman a solar recharge because since Parasite's still half his energy.
Yep. And that's where I was like, wait, what happened? No, that's when I realized, oh, I have to go read Scarman. So.
But yeah, before that, even Maxima shows up in town and basically just like, well, kills this one guy and then takes like the rest of this.
Well, I mean, Maxima, she comes up to like a club. She comes walking in and she looks like a model. And these people are just like, these guys are like, you want to party with us? And she's like, blows them off. So then, of course, what do you do next? You pull out a knife because that's what you did in the 80s, you know?
Yeah. And then like Maxima blows his head off.
And I did not know how to pronounce Maxima's person.
Yeah, I just say Sazu, but I don't know.
Yeah, it works for me. That's all. I was like, okay.
So yeah, then Starman gives Superman the solar recharge, and then Superman's like, "Yeah, I'm back, holding up this big chunk of rock. I'm good." Then takes off and gives us a recap of stuff that's happened, like Jimmy and what's happened in action the last couple issues.
I just want to call him like Stretch Olson.
Like, oh, nice.
Instead of like Stretch Armstrong, like Stretch Olson. Just sounds like that would be his name. Guys, look out. Stretch Olson's on the job.
And I love how like Maxima has like this like I don't know, this like designer bring these models up to like show her clothes, and she's like, "Yeah, I'll just make these. I can make those myself."
Yeah, then she just makes like an amalgam of them and makes everybody is mad. Like, how dare you?
Like, can't you just look in some magazines and be like, "Oh yeah, I like that."
But I like how she just has like money.
Well, does she have money, or does she just like hypnotize the whole staff of this hotel?
That's okay. Well, that's probably a better read on it.
Yeah. I mean, she acts like she has money, but yeah, because she's alien royalty. But yeah, this kid she has hypnotized. She asks him where Superman lives. He's like, I don't know. And she goes, who would? And he says maybe the Daily Planet.
Yeah, maybe the Daily Planet. They talk about him, and then I love this because we get blonde Lana Lang.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this whole issue makes me mad. So, like, I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's like, well, it's supposed to be orange or so, but it's like light orange. Yeah. Yeah, because on his way back from Phoenix, Clark stops in the hospital to check on Lana, which I was thinking, man, ever since Man of Steel, man, Lana's been through it. I mean, between the Manhunters, between being kidnapped by Lex and beaten, and then the whole thing.
I feel that's just what happens to poor Lana. Like, it sounds horrible, but I feel like she hasn't really got, I don't know, her due.
I mean, Lois throws herself in a line of fire, and I don't think she's been injured this much.
This is true.
So he's basic. Yeah, Clark's going bad, and Lana's like, it's not your fault. So he takes off and goes home, and he's thinking, since I've been back on Earth, I've only had like a few hours peace and quiet to myself.
There is no such thing, Clark. You're Superman.
Exactly. Then he calls Hamilton to check on Jimmy. No change pretty much.
No, Stretch Olson.
Yes, Stretch.
Because that's the only thing that seems to make sense.
Stretch.
This is where Cat Grant comes into play.
Oh my. Then in the morning, Lois trying to type with one arm because her arm's in a sling.
Yeah, red-headed Lois
Mm-hmm.
with her really bad haircut, and then Maxima shows up and gives her like that weird psychic thing, and even like Perry's like mesmerized or stunned or something like.
Oh yeah, she kind of puts just like trances them all, and then Lois complains, she trances her, and then Maxima's like, "There's better ways to flesh out Superman than her and her people all disappears." Clark's getting off the elevator. He overslept.
I mean, of course he did.
Yeah, but what do you say? He goes, I guess I was a little more drained than I thought after that whole thing with the parasite.
I think it's interesting he calls him like the parasite.
Yeah. So yeah, he sees everyone just in a trance. He wakes them up, and they tell him about Maxima. I love Lois. I wish Superman were here. He'd find them in a second with his X-ray vision. And he's like, maybe not. That's what I'm using right now, and I can't find her.
It's like, It is, and then we get. These are very like late 80s, early 90s looking commando suit people.
Oh yeah, because I guess those are alien armor or whatever. But yeah, Maximus put some hypnotized people in those armors. She got it at a Cobra garage sale or something.
Dun, dun, dun.
But yeah, she's basically, I don't know I don't know if she's like interrogating the mayor for Superman or what, because she's like, this little man rules the city. She's like, oh, it's so strange that the humans would choose him rather than Superman.
I'm so surprised there's not a Lex Luthor in here kind of thing. Just because like he always is like, I'm the world, like Earth's real man,
Yeah, I mean, unless he was busy somewhere. But again, it seems so weird. Like it's always like you either get a ton of Lex every month, or it's like you go a month where there's hardly any Lex. Which again, this month we only got Lex in the Superman issue when they, when the doctors called him. It's like, oh yeah, Brainiac's like stirring and stuff, and so you either get a ton of Lex or none.
I don't know. Yeah, it always feels like that's kind of like the thing is like Superman and Lex. Like Lex is like well, I mean, I guess this isn't that Lex yet, like the perfect human specimen, in shape. So
Oh, you mean like Lex Luthor Jr.?
Oh no, Phil, don't spoil nothing.
I didn't. But yeah, the major crimes unit shows up, and I guess we're supposed to believe Turpin gets killed, but
I love Turpin in his bowler hat.
Yeah.
Only he can prevent forest fires.
Oh my.
With his bowler hat.
Again, I guess it's so weird when you write someone with like super hearing and stuff, because like the same stuff like goes down with Daredevil. I'm just like, don't you think the whole thing at City Hall will be making enough noise to draw Clark's attention? Like he has to see it on the news or whatever.
You would think.
All the explosions and stuff, don't you? I'm sure there's probably people yelling and screaming. You would think it'd be like, oh wait, what's that?
But no, it doesn't happen.
He sees it on the news, and then as Perry's like saying, Clark or Kent, get over there. He's already gone. He's changing into that storeroom.
Sure, Mr. White.
So we see Superman swoop in, and then those armored guys start shooting at him. But yeah, he uses his X-ray vision that sees. He's like, oh, there's just kids in there. So he disarms the suits without harming the people inside.
I mean, it's smooth.
Maxima's impressed, and Sazu's like, I can't believe this. This is Earth's mightiest warrior. He's not even trying to kill his opponents.
That's like, and like, and I just feel like Maxima's an interesting character. And like, what would happen if Maxima got on Paradise Island?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
that's an interesting story right there.
Mhm. Oh, I mean, wait till we get to God, what is that? The Armageddon 2001 annuals. There's one where it's like, oh, what if Superman did get with Maxima?
That makes sense. That
Mhm.
seems like, you know, something someone would write.
Mhm. Oh yeah, but then so they're like, oh, let's see what the Superman really, is about, because they have the armored warriors all firing on the crowd, and then Superman. So Cesar's like, yes, yes, now kill, but Superman basically just grabs two of the armored guys and slams them together, basically shatters the armor, but just knocks the people inside out. Then he crashes into City Hall and confronts Maxima and gets hit with her mental this mental attack. I don't know if it's like a form of telekinesis or something, but
That's what I think of it.
mm, mm. And Sazu's like, no, he's not worthy of you. We must depart. And Maxima's like, no. She's like, Sazu, if you won't help me, I'll embrace his thoughts directly. And Sazu's like, no. And like attacks Maxima. She's like, you dare? Sazu's like, it pains me, but I must. My first responsibility is the royal house. Your line must not be weakened by unworthy blood.
Now, what would happen, okay, if Maxima did mate with Superman, okay, and then that child is under a red sun?
Mm. Yeah, I'm trying to remember, because I don't think Maxima doesn't need a yellow sun, does she? So, I mean, the kid would probably be, under a yellow sun, the kid would probably be stronger than both of them, but under a red sun, it'd probably just be as strong as Maxima.
Right. Just saying.
Mm-hmm. So, but then it looks like Sazu vaporizes Maxima, but then Superman breaks free and, yeah, kind of knocks out Sazu, and that's when everyone comes out of their trance, and we see Turpin's alive, but that's when they all see, oh, Sazu's an alien, because she has like a big third eyeball on her forehead.
That was cool. It was creepy too.
Oh yeah. Oh, and she has like 4 arms or something. Yeah. So Turpin's like, where did this weirdie come from? Superman, obviously from some other planet, but as to why she's here and what she did to Maxima, your guess is as good as mine. And yeah, the last 2 panels we see the real Maxima saying, Sazu will pay for destroying my simulacrum. No matter the cost, I must travel to Earth myself. Sazu must be punished, and Superman must be mine. So yes, kids, she'll be back.
No.
All right. So yeah, thoughts. I mean, this was my favorite issue of these ones this week.
I mean, yeah, I really like this one, but I just really like the artistic style of like the dual parallel stories, the other one. But this one was great as far as just an overarching Superman story of him doing something, him being thrown off his game. So,
and I mean, I kind of like it even more than like the Jimmy one, just because it's like Superman's kind of like back to business now after Exile and everything. And
Phil, everyone likes this one better than the Jimmy one.
Don't touch Jimmy.
Nobody was rooting for Jimmy. Okay, Stretch Olson was not going to make it out of there.
Oh man, I need to ask Justin, even if I got a secondhand deliver the answer next time. I'd just be like, Dylan, how'd you feel about that Adventures 450? All right. So, anything else on these?
Nope.
All right. So, kids, next week we're gonna, What's that next? Yes, next week we're going to cover Superman 36, Adventures of Superman 459, and Action Comics 646. So, kind of,
Sweet.
yes, just the next issues of everything, well, except for the Starman. I can't remember if we actually get it this time, or oh no, we might. I don't know if we get it this time, but we're getting closer to getting a Fortress here. So,
Good.
yes, and more wacky shenanigans with the Eradicator.
It's always wacky with the Eradicator because nobody knows what the Eradicator does. They're just like, we need a name. We're gonna call it the Eradicator.
Just throw it in the Arctic or throw it into the sun. Yeah, and that's not going to come back and bite us.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you win, Phil. Throw it into the sun.
Yes. All right, kids. So so send us your thoughts on these issues this week. Send us for the upcoming stuff. Again, you can always send us stuff beforehand and we'll talk it. Or stuff we've already talked about. Email us capesandlunatics@gmail.com or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find all things Capes Lunatics episodes, social media, merchandise. Get your new Capes Lunatics merch, the classic Capes Lunatics merch. You can rain random money on us through the Cash App link. Again, subscribe to the Patreon, where, again, it's uncensored, exclusive. And also, if you are a patron, you can request a topic for me and Lilith to discuss. So it's worth it for the price alone. So find that at patreon.com/capesandlunatics. And find everything at tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. That's tubespace.io/Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network. All right. And if this wasn't enough Superman for you, Tyler, where else can they get more Superman?
They can get more Superman by checking out the Krypton Report podcast, where me and my co-host James Cole talk Superman, all things Kryptonian and DC. Check that out wherever you get your podcasts. We're on YouTube. Luckily, we got our YouTube back, but that's a whole nother conversation. And you'll find us there. And just look for Krypton Report everywhere.
And for those of you who don't know Mr. James Cole, he's the one being in the universe Maxima would have begged to be with. She was like, please date me, please.
Yeah. And,
talk about a superior bloodline. Come on.
It's true.
Yes. Sorry, kids. James Cole, again, always welcome here, but again, he was busy this week being the gravitational constant of the universe.
Every time he's busy, I'm just like, he's out fighting crime.
Fighting natural disasters. I heard he's standing on the coast of Florida waiting for that next hurricane to come and take a block it.
He's just going to be like,
all right. Thank you for joining us again. Next time, Superman 36, Adventures of Superman 459, and Action Comics 646. More stuff coming, like you said, more Eradicator stuff. Brainiac's going to return here soon. We'll do a Maxima, I think, probably early next year. So much good stuff. All right, so come back and join us next time for Truth, Justice, and the Mullet. I hope we didn't stretch out too much.